Hello everyone, good evening. Welcome to Odoo for Beginners. Today we are going to discuss one real use case, one practical use case that we have started the Odoo with standard costing and manual inventory valuation. But after some transaction, after creating the bills and invoices, we realize that this is not the perfect valuation as we require to move from standard to average with your manual automation to automated valuation. But the challenge is that already transactions are done. We have created bills, invoice and etc. So now how we can move from those standard to average with automated valuation. Here I have considered the two use cases. This video will be quite lengthy, but again my agenda is to clear the concept. So you can use those concepts for your business case. Okay. So now use case number one is that here at initial level my configuration is standard with the manual. We have purchased the items, we have created the bills, but after creating the bill we realize this is not the correct configuration. So how we can resolve this? Please make a note that currently we are in the Anglo sections. Okay, so now I am creating the one product. Let me create one product. I have created with product, that use case 1. Here my category, let me make it larger. Category use case 1. This is standard and manual. Now here this is my blank database. So in the accounting you can see that is balance sheet 0 with that profit and loss 0. So those values will be captured very clearly. Now what I am going to do, I am purchasing those products. So I am selecting my product is use case 1. Let's consider the 10 quantity. Price is that. Now I am just removing the taxes for now. Okay, now just I am confirming and receiving the products and validating. So now if we will check those product use case 1, so this 10 quantity with my 10, so valuation is 100 as of now. Okay, so now just let me create the bill for that, and as I am creating the bill for bill date of today, and as I am confirm, as this is the manual, so here you can see that for creating the bill your expense is debited and account payable is credited. That's all. Now here what happens after this transaction, after creating the bill, we realize that this is not the correct one. We require to change it from standard to automated. Now your step number 2, what we have to do. Now step number 2, what we will do, just we will go with the products, product category. My product category is use case. So now use case 1, here what we are going to, here just changing from average cost, and your inventory valuation is automated. That's fine, perfect. Okay, now because of this configuration, so Odoo pass one accounting entry. So let's check which entry Odoo has passed. So now I will go with that inventory valuations. Now this is created at now. So now here you can see that stock valuation is debited and stock interim account it's credited. Okay, so now this accounting entry passed, and along with that if we will check our bills entry, so let me go with that entry. Here you can see that my expense account is debited and my account payable is credited. Now what we want, now we want that my transactions will be based on those Anglo sections as well as those automated and those average costing. But this entry is already booked with my expenses debited with the 100 and my payable is credited with that 100. So now what we have to do? Now your step number 3, nothing, just you have to pass one journal entries. Okay, so which kind of journal entry we are passing? Because in the Anglo section and when we are in the automated, there will be no any impact of expense when we are triggering those bill. Okay, so now we have to nullify this expense entry. So now what we have to do is I am going to duplicate those, but before that let me go with the profit and loss. In the profit and loss you can see that the 100 is booked, but now we have to nullify this, and along with that we have to nullify the stock interim received account. So what I am doing, accounting journal entries, I am passing one journal entries. Okay, we have to nullify this expense, this is debited. So what we have to do, we have to do expense account credited with 100. Okay, but now which account we have to use? Now let me give you one more idea. In the accounting address, you can see that this stock interim received account, currently it is, what happens, it is credited. So what we have to do, we have to debit this. So now stock interim received account is debited, and just we balancing our entries, and just I am going to post it, and boom. Now let's check the profit and loss. So now reporting and profit and loss. So here you can see that there is no any expense booked, because till now we have made no any invoices. So this expense entries is not booked in your profit and loss. And if I will check the balance sheet, in the balance sheet you can see that stock valuation is debited with 100. Now stock interim received also nullified by passing that entry. So this is just one sample I have shared. I know that you have multiple thousands of products and thousands of transactions, but just I have passed one concept that how you can do that. Now use case number 2. Okay, so now what happens, we have created the bill, but along with that we have created the invoices also. So how we can cover that? So for that, let me just make this database blank, so those entries will be cleared perfectly. So what I am going to do, I am just making those reset to draft, again those reset to draft, again this reset to draft. Okay, now here you can see that in the profit and loss 0, and now in the balance sheet also nothing is there. Now let's try with those use case 2. Now my products, I am creating those product which is my use case 2. Here again track inventory, I am creating my use case 2 again with my standard price and manual. Now everything is perfect. Now let's do at the initial level, the price is 20, and here sales price is 50. Okay, now removing the taxes for the simplifications, everything is perfect. I am purchasing those product. So I am purchasing, creating my vendor, my product is use case 2. We are purchasing that 10 quantities, okay, with the price of 20. So total is 200. We are confirming. Okay, my receipt is that we are just gonna validate. That's fine. Now we are just gonna create the bill. So this is as manual. So here you can see that the expense is debited. I'm adding those bill date and confirm. Now that's all. This is the same scenario as we discussed previously. Now what happens till now? Now we are creating the cells. Okay, because my customer has a demand. So my customer Justy has a product use case 2. We are just selling one item with the 50 price, and with just gonna confirm. So now delivery is there, and we are just gonna validate it. Okay, so now after that we are creating the invoice, and this is the invoice. Here you can see just only sales and account receivable accounts are triggered, as this is the manual valuations. Now we're gonna confirm this. Now after these transactions we realize, oh, this is not the correct configurations. Now we have to change from manual to automated with average costing. Now what we have to do? Okay, so here you can see that in the profit and loss, in accounting, in profit and loss, here you can see that the whole expense is booked, as we have purchased 10 items with 20, with 10 items with 20 price. So 200 is booked. Now what we have to do? Again I am doing the same practice. I am going to the product categories, but before that let's check the inventory. In the inventory, my product valuations, my product is use case. Okay, so group by the product, my product is use case 2. So here you can see that the valuations is 1086. Okay, so now what we have to do? Now I am changing those configurations. Product category is use case 2. I am changing from standard price to average costing, and manual to automated. Based on this, Odoo will automatically pass one entry. So let's check on that. accounting. In accounting, my journal entries, Odoo is past these entries. So here Odoo has considered the debit of 180. So we have purchased the 10 items with 200 and just we have sell one item. So my valuation of 180, that is debited, and here my stock interim is credited. But now what happens here? So now let me duplicate this and let me show what exactly things are there. Now if we will check the bills, latest bill, accounting, in the accounting my bills are there. Okay, yeah, this is the bill. Here you can see that 200 is debited, and let me check that invoice, and if we will check the invoices, in the invoices you can see that my 50 is credited, your 200 is debited, and your 50 is credited. Now what actually is that? If the Anglo section is there, then the expense is booked when you are selling those items. Okay, so now what I am going to do, I am passing the same entry. Okay, so now let me duplicate this, accounting entries and new, again expense, but expense is, where's my actual entry? Expense is my, first of all this debit, expense is credited. Okay, so expense is credited with 180, and my stock interim account will be debited. Let's check those again. Okay, because yeah, why we haven't passed those entry with the, where is that, okay, let me remove this. Okay, 180. So as I am going to pass those entries with the 180 and going to post it, now let's check the reporting, accounting and profit and loss. So here you can see that your gross profit is 50. Odoo is just book the expense of 20 because we have already made the income of 30. Okay, so based on this passing one entry, you can move from your standard costing to average. This again I'm repeating, these are just sample data. Okay, you have those thousands products and 1000 transactions and you were stuck. So you can contact us, you can contact me, you can contact TechVaria. We are here to help you to find those solutions. Thank you.